Hello, it is Thursday, February 24th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday puzzle today, so we might be in store for something tricky, some kind of unusual theme with an interesting mechanic. I'm looking forward to finding out what that is. And we will find out what that is, thanks to the support of David Innes, Henrik Koskinen, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. Thank you to the three of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. Their support helps make this channel a sustainable part of my daily work, so thank you. And thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. Doing so gets you access to all of the bonus Solve videos up on the Patreon channel, as well as the extra channel in the Daily Solve Discord chat server. And the rest of that chat server is free for anybody to join, so do investigate that if it's of interest. Links to all these things are in the description field underneath the video. So let's solve today's crossword. As I said, of course, this is a Thursday puzzle. We'll have some kind of theme, probably an unusual theme, and it was constructed by Jake Halperin, who has constructed a handful of New York Times crosswords, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So that's probably enough preamble. Let's go. Let's get started. Okay. Parties with smokers. Parties with smokers. Could it be smoking as in smoked meat, barbecue? I'm trying to think if there could be some misdirection going on here. Smokers. I'm not sure. In what universe? So that seems like it's... Sorry about that. Needed some water. So, in what universe? This looks like... It looks like it's saying, how could that be? Or I don't think so. I mean, it looks like a expression of skepticism, but I'm not quite saying what it is. Let's keep going. Positive consideration. Positive consideration. A nod or what? I don't know. Make available. Offer. Holy cannoli. So this could be an expression of surprise. It could be egad, maybe? Flavor of the month. Particle with a superscript. An ion? Does an ion have a superscript? I think the minus or plus sign on an ion, a charged atom, is in the superscript, so it's raised, I believe. Let's put that in. And then what was 7? In what universe? Boy, I don't know. I'm not certain ion is correct, but let's leave it there for now. Spreadsheet part. Could be a row of a spreadsheet, row and column of a spreadsheet. Has. Owns. You have something, you own it. Feature of Arthur Ashe Stadium since 2016. I don't know. What would be something that would be recently added to a stadium? I don't know, some kind of drone video system or a roof maybe? Did they add a roof? Was it an open stadium before? Let's see. Positive consider. Oh, I see. So pro as in pro and con. So the positive consideration, the pros, the positives, negative considerations, the cons. Okay. So here we have Blank Productions, company behind the James Bond films. So this is Eon Productions, the Broccolis, the Broccoli family, which has produced James Bond films for decades. When pilots go through their checklists, pre-flight, right? One would hope. Soulmates for short could be BFFs, best friends forever. And a resting place is a bed, of course. Emulate the lonely goatherd. Did the lonely goatherd yodel? Let's check the crosses on that because I'm not completely confident. What makes you unique? My brain keeps trying to interpret this as some kind of wordplay around the fact that unique includes the sound of the word you phonetically. What makes you unique? But I can't find a way that fits. Keystone Cops, e.g. maybe this isn't yodel. The Keystone Cops a trio? I don't know. I'm not sure. Deliberately amateurish filming technique. Shaky cam? Oh, maybe it is Yodel. Does that help up here? In what universe? Oh, I see. As if. There we go. So it's not a question in this case. It is just an expression of disbelief. In what universe? As if. Holy cannoli. Whoa? Is it simply that? Is it simply an expression of surprise? Holy cannoli. Whoa. Is that what it is? Handled sharp objects. Now, the thing that is strange about this is that it's past tense, so I feel as though it's going to need an ed or something like that to make it past tense, but there doesn't seem to be enough room to make this something else. I wonder if we have a rebus. So white, e.g. Well, there's the Isle of Wight. This could end with island, I suppose. Flavor of the month. Oh, the flavor of the month is a fad. Okay, so that's straightforward anyway. And what about this? Rum drum. A cask? A cask of rum? Handled sharp objects. What is this? Awls? As in a tool, sort of a, I don't know, leatherworking tool, an awl? But why is it handled? Oh, they're, sorry, I see. It's handled as an adjective. I'm sorry if you're yelling at me for not seeing this. So it is sharp objects that are handled. It isn't the act of having handled sharp objects. So they are indeed awls, which are used to create holes and things. They are themselves sharp objects. Okay. All right. So still don't know what the theme is about. I was wondering if maybe there was some kind of rebus going on here, but I don't think so. Not here anyway. Maybe somewhere else. Youth Health and Safety Organization. Not sure. Oh, is it sad? This came up actually in the crossword the other day. Students Against Drunk Driving, or I think it used to be Students Against Drunk Driving, and now it's something, the DD is something else, but I don't remember what. So, I mean, Wight could be an island, Isle of Wight. And C31 down is, with 6 down, former White House press secretary portrayed by Melissa McCarthy on SNL. I'll know this when I see it, but I can't bring it to mind right now. This does look like Yodel. Emulate the lonely goatherd, Yodel. And, oh, what makes you unique? Is it DNA, maybe? That would make sense. And Keystone Cops, e.g. Not sure. Crunch Bar and Cadbury Cream Egg, e.g. Candies. So this has a question mark. White, e.g. has a question mark. There's obviously these, well, it's not obvious, I suppose, but it does seem very likely that these are both theme clues, but I'm not sure what ties them together yet. I'm not sure. Experienced certain growing pains. Could end in ED. Experienced. 30. Oh, right. Who's this White House? It's so frustrating. Oh, Sean Spicer. Is that who it is? Sean Spicer. It must be. Okay. He was certainly a White House press secretary. All right. So test for college seniors, a GRE. This came up sort of in that cryptic crossword, actually, I solved the other day. I solved a cryptic crossword on the channel. If you missed that, it was another New York Times one. So you can see that if you're interested in learning how that strange format of crossword works. Northernmost county of Pennsylvania would be Erie, Pennsylvania. And one observing the holiday of Arba'in. Is it a Shia Muslim, I suspect? And gets foggy. Not sure. Here we have when some local news comes on. It could be at 10, the 10 o'clock news. Seems pretty plausible. And 2008 bailout recipient would be AIG, was bailed out after the 2008 financial crisis. I guess amidst it, I suppose. Smash success. Big hit, big... not sure. What about this B? Leave out. Oh, that would be omit. So maybe smash success is a mega hit, not a big something. There we go. That looks better. And then to leave something out is to omit it. What about this? Oh, that gets foggy, right? And here, both consonants in geek phonetically. Oh, both consonants in geek phonetically. So g and k. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. Might end in IC. It seems plausible for this sort of word, whatever it is. Does that help? Beat over what? Probably not. I probably shouldn't assume that sort of silly thing. Although apartment building VIPs it could be supers. I mean, this is not exclusive to New York, but I would say very much a New York phrase, the superintendent, the super. I haven't really heard that phrase much in other cities. Okay, Rugrats Grandpa. No idea. Gets foggy. Could be something up. Oh, steams up. There we go. Steams up. I'm sort of doing this crossword in a slightly haphazard way, but that's fine. Celerity. Haste. A medieval club could be a mace, a physical club used in battle. And if one is prone, one tends to do a certain thing. I tend to get hung up on one sense of a word and have to really push myself to get out of it. If one is less sympathetic, one could be icier, less sympathetic in a general sense as opposed to less sympathetic. Well, yeah, I suppose you could be icier to a particular person. So yeah, it could be in any usage there. Beat overwhelmingly. Routed. It was a total rout. There we go. So celerity is haste, and sloth, e.g. Oh, so this ends in sin. So sloth is one of the 7 deadly sins. Does that help here? Yeah, I still just don't see what's going on with the theme. I assume I'll have to figure it out retroactively to some degree once I get enough crosses. Rugrats Grandpa. Well, could be Lou with these crosses, but I'm not sure. Is there anything else it could be? Any other names? Both consonants in geek phonetically. Well, it didn't end in IC, so I'm glad I didn't put that in there. 1995's Johnny Mnemonic, e.g. is a movie, certainly. Was this... No, I never saw this. I think it maybe had Keanu Reeves. Band with the first platinum-selling double album. Not sure. And tennis's Nadal familiarly. Here we go. Here's a sports answer I can answer. Rafa Nadal. It's his nickname. Is it Raphael? Is that his full name? Not 100% certain. Keystone Cops. Oh, I see. The Keystone Cops are oafs. So I don't think I've ever actually seen any sort of original Keystone Cops material, but sort of understand them to be a kind of group of clods. You know, they're constant bumbling and constantly tripping over themselves and that sort of thing. So they're oafs. Thingamajigs. I don't know, gizmos or gadgets. What would this be? And home for the Himalayas. In 4 letters, I guess it could be Asia. That's pretty general, but is Creme maybe the band with the first platinum-selling double album? I'm not sure. I never got particularly into Creme, so I don't know them very well. Oh, Crunch Bar and Cadbury Cream Egg, e.g. Are they hard C candies? So Crunch Bar and Cadbury Cream, all of those C's are hard C's as opposed to soft C's. Like the C in cinch at the beginning of cinch, it's soft, like an S. So that's interesting because that sort of reminds me of this clue. Both consonants in geek phonetically. I mean, they're both hard, but K is always hard in English anyway. G is not always hard. Why do I not see what this is? I'm sorry. Anyway, does that what does that mean here? So white, e.g. So are these all going to repeat a letter? So is it a something I island? And is Johnny Mnemonic a something? Oh, a silent M. Oh, I see. Okay. So hard sea candies is riffing on the phrase hard candies. And of course, neither a Crunch Bar nor a Cadbury cream egg is a hard candy. They're both relatively soft chocolate. And Johnny Mnemonic is not a silent movie, but it is a silent M movie because the M in Mnemonic is a silent M. It's not pronounced in English. The silent M movie, hard sea candies, I see. So what is this? White. This, I'm not sure if it'll start with, if this will be I or W. It could be something I island to match the sea candies and M movie, but it could also be a W because white starts with W and maybe that's the pattern. I'm not sure which is the pattern. I'm not sure. Who is this? Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. In French, this is... No, EC is here. Sorry. Who is this in French? Qui is who. Is that what we're all looking for? Doesn't look great with this Q. Parties with smoke. Oh, it does. Barbecues. Just like I said, but spelled in a, I would say, the less common way. This is sort of the halfway house between BBQ and the full spelled BARBECUE. So barbecues. So who is this in France? Is Key? Boy, I had a quite a terrible French mispronunciation in yesterday's puzzle when I pronounced été for summer as et. That was, I don't know why, because I definitely knew that was the case, but I just, my brain was short-circuited there. Anyway, so it's a something I island, if Key is correct. And what kind of I island is it? I see, a long I. So white is a long I as opposed to a short I, which would be wit, I suppose. So white is a long I island, and then that refers to the phrase Long Island, which is in New York State and is the island. Well, it includes the area known as Long Island, but also is the island on which Brooklyn and Queens are located. Okay, what most clarinets are tuned to? B flat, which I may or may not have remembered off the top of my head, but it was much easier with these crosses, wasn't it? If something will become apparent, it will what? Oh no, sorry, became apparent. It became apparent. Oh, I still don't know. Deployed as a naval officer, you could be a C. If you're deployed, you're a C, you're at sea. Oh, I see. It became apparent it arose. There we go. Yes, the nature of this theme became apparent. It arose. It doesn't quite work in that context, does it? Blank Montgomery, retired WNBA star. Looks like Renee to me with those crosses. And to make available is to free something up. There we go. A shameless fundraising drive, informally. A begathon? Never heard that word before, but that seems like a portmanteau that someone might use. I bet that's a debut in the New York Times crossword. In fact, I'm sure all of these theme answers are as well. Long I Island, Silent M movie, Hard Sea Candies. I'd be quite surprised if those had appeared in the crossword previously. Oh, I see. Experienced certain growing pains, teethed, so as an infant does. Chinese dynasty from 206 BC to AD 220. Is that the Han dynasty? Give it a twirl. Give it a twirl. I don't know the answer to this, but I will remind everyone, I suppose, if you need reminding, that the exclamation point in the New York Times crossword anyway usually means this is going to be something that could be said about the answer rather than a definition of the answer or a synonym for it. So whatever the answer to 32 across is, you could say about it, give it a twirl, that thing. Give it a twirl. I don't know what it is. Word after gay or fashion could be a gay icon or a fashion icon. Thingamajigs. Items, I guess. That's about as straightforward as it comes, but I didn't see it before. Analogy words. Is to. A is to B as X is to Y. An analogy. Window of a sort. Time something? Oh, a time slot maybe? You could say that we have a window for this meeting. We have a time slot for this meeting, perhaps. Maybe that's what it is. With the heels elevated, on toe. You could be on toe with your heels elevated. A leaf cutter, e.g. is an ant? No, that I'm not that I'm not sure. Is that kind of ant? I don't know. What about this? To go yachting is to sail, I suppose. And both consonants in geek phonetically. Now, what is this? I just don't know. Is routed incorrect by some? What about this? Goes for. Acts for. The for means that we're going to apply the word for not just to the clue, as it is here, goes for, but also to the answer. So whatever the answer is, it will be whatever for. So if it were acts, which doesn't feel right to me, it would be acts for. Okay, oh, here we have a compound clue. With 63 across, oh no, it's 6, okay. So 62 across is with 63 across, test for pupils. Test for pupils. I don't know. Monocle, basically. So a monocle, a single corrective lens. What is it basically? I don't know. Well, an animation frame, this is a cell. That's straightforward, at least. A single cell of animation. Well, a monocle is basically a lens. That's what came to mind, but that doesn't work with time slot, which makes me think time slot is incorrect. So sail could very well also be incorrect. So if a monocle is a lens, basically, which it is, it's essentially a lens on its own, with, I suppose, with a frame. To eliminate could be to axe something from, you could axe a chapter from a book or something in the editing process. Okay, so the test looks like exam now. The slot was certainly incorrect. So a test for pupils is a what exam? I don't know. Time window of a sort. Time span. So similar. Time span, a window of time. And goes for. Well, go yachting could still be sail. That still makes this continents thing. I'm sorry, there must be something. There must be some bit of linguistic vocabulary that I'm missing. I'm sorry about that. Goes for could be aims for. Oh, and here's another. Right, I forgot about this sloth, this theme clue. So sloth, e.g., is it a capital S sin? I see. A capital S sin. So in this case, I suppose it is a capital S because it's at the beginning of a clue and for no other particular reason than that. And capital sin would refer to a very serious sin, I guess, as opposed to a venal sin, a sort of more minor sin in Catholic doctrine, anyway. Although no, that's mortal sin versus venal sin. I don't know. I guess capital sin just refers generally to a major wrongdoing. But what is Villars? I hope this is correct. I'm sorry. I'm either unaware of or I'm forgetting this bit of vocabulary, so I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to move on, but I'll remember that this is maybe the weak point in the crossword if I fail to submit properly. So to abolish something is to end it. A landlocked African country is Chad, is an example of a landlocked African country. To mull over could be to chew over, and it may be revolutionary. A war could be a revolutionary war. Oh, test for pupils. So not pupils as in students, but pupils in your eye. Testing the pupils in your eye with an eye exam. That's very clever and a bit of misdirection. In an earlier day in the week, and maybe, Monday to Tuesday, maybe even a Wednesday, I don't know, this probably would have been indicated with a question mark to suggest that there's a bit of wordplay going on. There wasn't here, and there doesn't need to be because it is literally true. An eye exam, you could actually call it a test for pupils. So no question mark, but might have been one earlier in the week on the easier days. Anyway, greetings could be haya, and squirreled away could be hid. A washing machine that opens upward, I suppose, is a top loader. Fair enough. And a common Thanksgiving activity is what? A sip? That doesn't seem right, even though it's technically true. Why do I not see what that is? It seems like it should be obvious. Donation receptacles could be, what, a tip jar? Tin? I don't know. Why am I not seeing all these things here? Source of a purple puree must be our old friend, the acai berry, the official fruit of the New York Times crossword. Oh, I see. Oh, no, I don't. Sorry. I thought this AP was the donation receptacles, and I thought, cap in hand, donation. Why do I not see what these answers are? Give it a twirl. Oh, a baton. You could twirl a baton. So the Chinese dynasty is indeed the Han dynasty, and then donation receptacles are bins, I guess. Oh, is a common Thanksgiving activity a nap, I guess? I don't think I've ever napped on Thanksgiving, but is that must be something people do because they've eaten so much after the meal. And then a donation receptacle is a bin, fair enough. And that is the crossword. So I will need to look up velars, both consonants and geek, phonetically. Other than that, I think everything in this crossword made sense to me. Fun theme. It was not as wacky as I was expecting from a Thursday, but that's okay. It was certainly elusive, and that's something that often can also be an element of a Thursday crossword. So we had White, the Isle of Wight, a long I island. Crunch Bar and Cadbury Cream Egg, e.g., are hard C candies. 1995's Johnny Mnemonic is a silent M movie. And sloth, e.g., in this particular case anyway, is a capital S sin. So there we have it. A nice tidy theme, I think, very well executed by Jake Halpert. It sets its own rule and it sticks to it quite rigorously. And I think I did actually struggle to get into this crossword. And it's funny because the reasons I did are sort of arbitrary. It's not because when I look at the clues that I struggled with early on, it's not that any of them are really all that difficult. It's just that they're all sort of colloquial. And so I do find it can be more difficult to get casual speech without crosses than it could be to get something that might be in some ways seen as a more difficult answer. And that's because casual speech can be so broad and general. I mean, something like, oops, sorry, there's the doorbell. I do need to get that. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry for all the interruptions today. Anyway, so I think what I was saying was that I do find, especially at the beginning of a puzzle, when you haven't many crosses yet, the colloquial, sort of idiomatic or casual speech can be more difficult because it has such a broad range. In what universe? As if is a perfectly fair answer to that, but it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to land on that out of all the possibilities that something like this casual phrase could be. So I did struggle with that early on. But it doesn't, none of it was extraordinarily difficult. I will say there were some things that I had to infer, like emulate the lonely goat herd. I don't think I know this reference particularly, so I had to infer that it was probably yodel, which it was, but I wasn't certain about that. And similarly, Keystone Cops being oafs. Something I know from general cultural osmosis, but I'm not highly familiar with those characters from a sort of first-hand perspective. So some things like that, but nothing in this puzzle that I thought was really out of, really particularly terribly difficult with, once you're able to apply some crosses. But a fun theme, and it took me quite a while to catch on to what was going on there. Let me know how you fared. So that's it for today's puzzle. Let's discuss some clues from yesterday's puzzle, the Wednesday puzzle. We do have several comments about that. And let's see what we have. So yes, first up, Remy did correct me. This was quite embarrassing. Just for your information, a French pronunciation tip: summer is été, It's a phonetic English pronunciation. Yes, I know. I don't know what was going on there, but completely butchered that one. Kathy Swope explains, despite the common perception, Elliot Ness was not a G-man. He never carried an FBI badge. Yeah, that's true. I looked that up, and that was very interesting. I think I said maybe he was a G-man, maybe he was a T-man. So G-man would be government man and is generally refers to an FBI agent. T-man is treasury man and would refer to a treasury agent. But he wasn't either of those. I think he maybe even predated the FBI in the form that we know it now. Kathy Swope adds as well, not surprising that cities in North Dakota are not well known since the population of the entire state is about 770,000. Fargo and surrounding area, West Fargo, population is about 166,000. So there we have that. Dances with Logic explains that in knitting patterns, knit and purl instruct you to bring the yarn behind the needles, knit, or in front, purl, when forming a stitch. So thank you. I'll have to bear that in mind. Knit and purl, they are counterparts in that respect. Jeffrey Baird says, per today's wordplay column, there are 8 first-time entries, 7 of which are 8 or more letters. And also, like you, I didn't understand the theme until water break. So quite a few people seemed to agree water break was what was necessary to unlock the shared theme. And that makes sense to me. And finally, Kathleen Quinn says, Bibles in hotels are still a thing. Gideon's International, an evangelical Christian organization, has distributed approximately 1.4 billion Bibles of 100 languages over 180 countries over the years. They came to be known as Gideon's Bible, but they are actually the King James Version Bible. Such Bibles were perhaps most famously noted as a cultural reference by Paul McCartney in his song Rocky Raccoon, 1968. Rocky Raccoon checked into his room only to find Gideon's Bible. Rocky had come equipped with a gun to shoot off the legs of his rival. Yes, indeed, I'm quite well familiar with that Beatles song, and I was familiar with the concept of the Gideons. Generally, my reflection was, I was wondering how common they were outside of the U.S., because I know that Gideons was founded in the U.S., and it seems like a very American tradition. And what was interesting is I ended up in one of those sort of online research rabbit holes. It's shockingly difficult to find any kind of credible information on the distribution of Bibles by the Gideons, country by country. I did manage to find some scraps of information in a book about the sort of history of Christian organizations or something. And it does seem, unsurprisingly to me anyway, that at least for quite some time, it was primarily in the United States. It does seem like the spread was largely to two categories of countries. English-speaking countries, which makes sense that an American organization would spread most easily to other English-speaking countries like the UK and Australia and Canada. And then the other most common countries would be countries where missionaries tend to focus, many countries in Africa and certain parts of Asia, for instance, which is also not particularly surprising. They're least common. This is also not very surprising to me in Western Europe and then certain other Asian countries that are not as frequented by missionaries. So anyway, it was still difficult to find the distribution, but it does seem as though they're less common in some countries than others, and in general, the trend is on the decline, which I suppose also isn't a huge surprise. So anyway, that was, I don't really know why that information is necessary for this video, but I had thought it would be a very quick sort of one Google answer, and it really wasn't. It took me quite some time to find any kind of useful information. All right, well, that's it. That's that for today, Thursday, February. Oh, and sorry, I guess I should have explained right from the beginning. So the practice, the Gideons, they would put the original goal was put a Bible in every hotel room in the United States, and then eventually that spread to other countries. And it is still quite common to find Bibles in the sort of nightstand of a hotel room for that reason. Okay, that's it. That's today's puzzle with that strange little research note at the end. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please do subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow, of course, for the Friday puzzle, our first themeless puzzle of the week. We will dispense with these complicated themes, but we will also ratchet up the challenge level of the crossword generally. So we'll see how that goes. I hope you join me. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.